Cage. Peach. I could eat a peach for hours. Please. Kiss me.
Greetings and salutations. This is Cage's Kiss, the ultimate Cage cast, Nick Cage podcast, where we discuss each of the national treasures, cinematic masterpieces, and his life. We also try to glean whatever kernels of wisdom we can from his character that week. God help us all. My name is I'm Not Dying Donnie.
I think that's a lie.
It might be.
Cake is a lie.
My name, yeah, your mom's a lie. My name is Linda, but this week you can call me Stilton.
Well, my name's Adrian, and I'm really wishing I was under quarantine and not a security officer.
Yeah. We all need to go to hell for this movie, but we didn't make it. We just had to watch it.
Well, I think it was supposed to be a highway to hell, but it's more like a turnpike to heck.
Yeah, gosh dang it. Yeah.
But there's some cherries on that turd.
There
What are we talking about?
Well, for example, for our Canadian friends, over the title presentation of this movie, they're playing Trooper.
Yeah.
We're right up there with Chilliwack and April Wine.
For those not aware, we're talking about the movie Drive Angry, which was inspired by better movies that other people just never cared to see.
That seems to be like most of the things we watch.
Yeah.
Oh, you guys.
Yeah.
I fucking loved it.
Oh my God! Well, let me tell you about how everybody else loved it for a second. Okay, let me just lay this on you, because this happened February 25th, 2011. Those early in the year releases, unless there's something sneaked in for Oscar, tend to be pretty bad. And this cost $50 million, and in the international box office, it made $41 million. It opened at number 9 behind Hall Pass, Unknown. Yeah, number 9. Hall Pass, Unknown, Just Go With It, I Am Number 4, and the Justin Bieber movie all open ahead of this.
Was I Am Number 4?
In fact, it was.
Son of a bitch.
Assuming I wrote these down in the right order, yeah.
Oh, fucking A.
I hear that movie's more like I Am Number 2, but I haven't actually seen it.
Well, yeah, I fucking loved it. It's just got the right amount of insanity involved, and it's a fun ride. And yeah, I love most of the fucking cast. So except for
Amber Heard. Amber Heard's from Texas, darling.
Yeah, but she was in her element beating men, so I mean...
Yeah, exactly. It's like, they're all bitches, that's all. They should be a man, not a bitch, so I hit them. Yeah. That's all. I cracked his skull with a can of pork and beans. I was an alpha dog in Friday Night Lights, darling. And I was in the Rum Diary. Woo!
I cut him off completely.
That's right. No sex. Oh, what do you mean he went and got sex from another woman? That's impossible. I'm going to tell people he put a dildo in his butt.
Well, supposedly she might have shat in her and Johnny Depp's bed.
I believe it because she shat the bed that was this movie.
Yeah.
I do agree that like her character is just completely like if you just took her character out completely, it would be just fine.
Yeah,
because Piper's a whore.
Yeah.
Well, I wouldn't say she's a whore, but like...
I just did, so you don't need to now. It's fine.
Yeah, that's a stated fact.
I'm just saying the story doesn't need her. Like, at fucking all.
I mean, you could put somebody in there, just somebody else, something else. Give me, yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
so your fiance, he's a good man and stuff, your fiance? Oh yeah, you can just tell these things. I mean, he has a bumper sticker that says I break for pussy, but I'm sure he's just a gentleman.
And her fiance there was actually...
Was the writer.
Yeah, the writer Todd Farmer
was the guy who wrote Jaxon X.
Yes, I was just about to fucking get to that. He wrote fucking Jaxon X, you guys.
That's all
with his penis. He wrote it with his penis. Maybe he should have played the professor, and he could have let David Cronenberg write Jaxon X. They could have had a little trade place there, and maybe made a movie that didn't suck. You know?
And he could have had Cronenberg play on this too. So I mean,
speaking of shit that sucks, Drive Angry is directed by Patrick Lussier, who did Prophecy 3, Dracula 2000. My Bloody Valentine 3D also. So I'm thinking maybe Drive Angry needed a number in the title someplace, like maybe a 1 for the I or 4 for the A.
Well, it was in 3D as well.
Yeah, but My Bloody Valentine 3D, in some releases they put 3D in the title.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Apparently that's part of what made Cage supposedly want to do the film.
Oh yeah, I saw that too, and it's like I feel like maybe he needs some handlers, you know?
Yeah, there's a.
But I want to do that movie that's in Smell-O-Vision now.
Yeah.
It's like no, Mr. Cage,
Handler,
over
not
this way.
Amber Heard.
It's like if anyone wants to watch it, there's a College Humor video that talked about this with Nick Cage, where it's a video about his agent. And it's like, okay, we have a script where you play a dog and you're a cop from a former life. It's like, yes, okay, let's do it. It's like, no, this is shit. You don't want to do it. Oh, okay, yeah, no. But yes, let's do it. Every shit idea they come across, like, yeah, I want to do it. Yeah, let's do it. That's great. It's awesome.
So Cage would also have done Quigley if they let him.
That would have been.
Oh my god, I would love that. Starring Weston Cage as the angel.
When Patrick Lussier is not directing straight to video shit, he's editing shit like the Scream series. Oh, and he also co-wrote this movie, so fuck him.
I don't know how you could make this unless you had a giant mound of cocaine and you're like, I want something that's cool and hip like Pulp Fiction, but I want it to be like Smoking Aces, but really, really bad.
Yeah, you see, that's what I was thinking a little bit while watching this. I'm like, we got a little bit of bad Tarantino here, and we got a little bit of bad Joe Carnahan.
Yeah,
it's like they took a number of things which were sometimes good and just did the worst parts of them.
Well, this was the second of 5 movies in 2011.
Yeah, this is going to be a long haul, clearly.
Yeah, we're looking at Ghost Rider Spirit of Vengeance just around the fucking corner. So, I mean, this is
my poor dick.
definitely in that time where, especially like when you consider when he must have filmed it, this is definitely in that time where he's just trying to get that money.
Well, speaking of going full regal, David Morse is in this movie. Now, some people remember David Morse for stuff like The Negotiator or being on House MD. But I remember David Morse for playing a Simple Jack type character in a movie called George B. And in George B, there is a scene where he's in a covered bridge with the lady and she gives him a hand job and he's holding his Big Gulp from 7-Eleven. And after he comes, he says, "Thanks a lot. That was great." And he has a little person roommate who he calls Little Mike. And there's a part where he's yelling at George B. saying, "She's just using you, George! You need to get rid of her!" And he's like, "No, Little Mike, that's not very nice."
Jesus Christ.
You will never see George B., but I pretty much just painted you a picture of the whole movie.
Now, at the same time,
he was also in The Rock.
If you took that scene and you started putting some like old style rock and roll hits from like the 60s and 70s in the background, and then you had some slow motion shots turning around under the bridge when he's getting the hand job, you would have this movie.
Yeah, pretty much. It's like, he did it while we was fucking. He killed him while we was fucking.
That is my main fucking argument for why this is an amazing film.
Did that ever happen to you?
Okay,
I'm not going to say there weren't fun scenes in it. We're talking about a whole.
Haven't seen it and don't want to see it. There is an entire long fight scene where he is fully clothed, but he's
except for his penis, which is inside the lady.
He's like ball deep inside this lady. Who's
never disrobe before a gunfight.
Who's actually what's her name? Smoke in Archer. what was it, Felicity? Oh, I can't remember. Was it like Felicity? I think her mom. But anyway, so yeah, he's having this like long ass fight. I would say gunfight, but he's
and he
also,
has a
like,
bottle of
throwing
Jack
shit.
Daniels in the other hand. He's wearing
Cigar.
sunglasses, and he has a
And
cigar in his
cigar.
mouth. And he has the same fuck awful hair he had in Season of the Witch.
Yes,
Where
it's
again, he
blonde
looks
and
like a
long.
bloated Vince Neil crossed with a bloated Gene Wilder.
And he's like balls deep in this lady and like fighting the entire time.
Yeah,
And
they're contorting off of the bed and back onto it, and people keep coming and they keep shooting him, and at one point they get tased. And
Move
it's
that
kind of like something a teenager would write, honestly.
Well, honestly, and I really mean this honestly, it's kind of like something that did it better in a movie called Shoot 'Em Up in 2007.
Thank you. Yes, I was
fucking
that,
love
At
that
least
scene
she came
especially
at the end of it.
heavily reminded me of Shoot 'Em Up, and Shoot 'Em Up is one of the best fucking things. Like it's
there was
awesome.
no
Like,
tit for tat.
I like Shoot 'Em Up better than John Wick. I think people need to go watch that one.
Honestly,
It has
John
Paul
Wick, the
Giamatti
first
in it.
one was okay. The second one
Sure,
was just what the fuck
Yeah.
marbles.
I didn't see the second one. The first one though, it's fine,
Yeah.
and it has that guy from Hellraiser 6.
Well, yeah, Shoot 'Em Up also has Clive Owen. I fucking
Yeah,
love that too.
mostly Clive Owen. Yeah.
Yeah,
No,
Clive
no,
Owen
no.
and Paul Giamatti. Paul Giamatti is one of my favorite actors.
Shoot
of
'Em
all time.
Up. It's like kind of like the differently abled, over the top stuff. Like it all rolled out a little bit better in that one.
Yeah.
Because they maintained a sort of cartoon quality to it, and they weren't necessarily trying to be cool. They weren't trying to, because this thing, they got this whole Texas, Louisiana, like I guess semi grindhouse attempt thing going on.
I mean,
Yeah.
this is just Joe Dirt County. But I had a lot of questions about this film, more specifically the audience for this film. Because looking at the reviews on Amazon for this thing and a lot of other places,
Oh yeah, let's hear it.
there were a lot of religious people mad about this
Whoa.
film. So
Because of
Wait,
Hank?
are these the kind of people who, for the reason why when that first Doom movie got made, they removed all the demonic references?
it might be for that, or the same people like our cousin Mike, who, when he became a born again Christian, would like nudge your arm while he's trying to tell you that Stryper is the most amazing band ever, and he's playing the song "To Hell with the Devil," and he has to like nudge your arm at certain lyrics to like mouth them to you because he's like, these are important. And you're like, fuck
Well,
you.
if he
I'm
wants
just
to get
listening
bad
this.
shit, why doesn't he listen to that late term Kansas stuff that's really unfortunate, where Kerry Livgren went mad?
True.
Oh man,
I like the soundtrack for this one.
Yeah.
with the
like I
exception of,
like I said, Trooper. And
Yeah.
April Wine's on there too. No, but except for
And
that.
they got the Teachers of Peaches.
Yeah,
Oh,
see,
God.
that's
On the
no,
beaches.
thank you, no, thank you for that part. Amber Heard being like, "Yeah, I got a pussy and I'm loose. Yeah, driving a car. I like fucking. Oh, that's
the
right."
thing. Okay, because of like all of the female nudity, that kind of tells me like, okay, they're going for a mostly male audience, a mostly younger male audience.
I
But then at the
guess.
same time, like, she's a badass bitch who kicks lots of ass and blah blah
No,
blah.
I think
So
this is like, she's like a bottle blonde and shit. I think this is for like those older guys who like to wank, like that guy who whips out his flip phone.
Oh, you mean
with the
Larry
American
Flint
flag shirt and
cameo?
takes a picture? Yeah,
What?
yeah. I think that guy's an actual picture of the audience.
Yeah.
Yeah, actually, I have that in my notes. I said, like, this guy is the hero of the fucking movie.
Yeah,
and
that's why I
he's,
said it's like
everybody
Larry
in the
Flint
audience.
just walked into the movie. Keyword
No,
walked.
that guy and
fucking
Amber
love that
Heard's
guy.
Fiance. Those are my two favorite characters.
But I mean, this movie, I mean, fuck offending anyone because I lived in a fucking trailer park. This movie was made for trailer park rednecks. It's just-
Yeah. Well, that's
what-
why
what
you
makes
have
sense.
that '70s Canadian rock on
Well,
the
even
soundtrack,
with like the
because a lot of
reviews,
people aren't going to know it.
The reviews I saw and went through all the religious ones. It makes sense if you think about a community like that, where people are like, "Well, I bought this for my nephew because it's got cars and fire, so it's got to be fun." Then you're like, "Oh my god, what is this movie?" And it's like you have fast cars, and a lot of people are like, "These cars are badass." acting sucks, but the cars are great. There's tons of
it
naked
did have a
women.
Charger in it.
It's like, okay, so that's what your wank material is. It's having redneck friends.
Yeah.
I've had to listen to the same thing. And the same people like Die Hard is a biblical movie because it's a factual movie that you have to see and it gets you hard. And if it doesn't, you're just not American. It's just the same type
this
of
is
thing.
the kind of people still riding the 90s action wave, the one that everybody else got tired of.
Yeah.
And the fat dude with the camera phone was in something with Casper Van Dien called Ratpocalypse.
Oh my God.
Oh, well, that can't not be good. You know.
I've got to see the shit out of that. I am I'm already
so this
there.
movie had William Fichtner in it as the accountant.
I fucking love him.
He's from New York, and he was actually raised in Cheektowaga, which is the town where my grandma lives.
Really?
Yeah, and he was in Michael Mann's Heat, and he was in Drowning Mona, and Ultraviolet.
Oh God, that movie.
And, right. He never looked worse than he looked in that movie, by the way, where he's got the stupid scrag and the jogging suit and the fangs.
That was one of the few movies that I've actually called mercy on. I was just like, nope.
No, I saw it twice. I even saw the director's cut, because I'm a glutton for punishment.
Speaking of, that's something I have to mention that's off topic. I laughed so hard, but Mila Jovovich was stated she was so mad when she found out they're going to be remaking the Resident Evil movie. And she's like, well, why can't you remake something else of mine, like Fifth Element? Because that was actually good.
How you can remake Resident Evil is classic, is my career. You are insulting to me. How dare you?
That was the only time I liked her in Zoolander and in what you call it? Shit. Maybe I shouldn't have started drinking.
She was in Dazed and Confused. Is that what you're talking about? You friggin' junkie.
I hate Dazed and Confused. Everybody fucking loves it, but
that's
I
our
don't
generation's movie with all these up and coming stars before they was famous.
Yeah, our generation didn't get the Brat Pack. We got fucking cheated.
We got fucking Ben Affleck.
Lucky fucking Gen Xers got cool shit in the 80s, and we got dumbass shit in the 90s.
Nah, that's true. Yeah, I'll agree. But Donnie and I were rarely watching what people were watching.
Well, no, me too, and that's why I hang out with you too. In the 90s, I was watching 70s and 60s movies, and I was listening to 70s and 60s music,
I was thinking of Fifth Element, duh. That's where I fucking loved her. And Donnie just said it.
And frankly, Luc Besson is he was a one-trick pony.
He was. Yeah. He is.
I mean,
City Lost Children.
No, La Femme Nikita.
Oh gosh, yeah. That was fun.
La Femme Nikita was good, but the rest of it, it's kind of like everybody else is just a little too excited, and he did stuff like Unleashed, and then he did fucking with that Lockout, the one with the space prison, the really shitty Escape from New York in space.
Yeah, I think that's another one we might have watched together.
Speaking of things that we all watched, though, this movie has Tom Atkins.
Yeah.
From Halloween 3 and Lethal Weapon and Night of the Creeps.
That's right.
Sure enough.
Yeah, yeah. Thrill me.
And he's wearing a shirt that I'm not sure, but I think it's from that old website that we used to love, tshirthell.com.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, it has a bunch of spoilers for...
So when I say shoot for their tires, I mean shoot for their heads.
And it had Billy Burke as the bad guy.
Yeah, no, Billy Burke, the only reason I looked him up is because he looks a fuckload like young Tommy Lee Jones.
Yeah, I know, right?
He's got the soul patches out of place, but he Tommy Lee Jones in the 70s looked just like that, except he was Tommy Lee Jones, so it's better.
Yeah, he played Jonah King, but he was also in the Gilmore Girls for 3 episodes. And depending on what you read, it says that either he's from Everett or Bellingham, which I read is Everett, really close to me.
Yeah. Nobody's from Bellingham. That's just where they go to die.
Pretty much.
I can confirm. But he did go to Western Washington, so, I mean.
Yeah.
But,
It's a place to be. Yeah.
I loved most of the actors. Like I fucking love William Fichtner.
I love producer Boaz Davidson, who made Lemon Popsicle and American Cyborg Steel Warrior.
You know, the classics.
What? He was also a producer on Wicker Man.
Ooh.
But again, American Cyborg Steel Warrior.
Well, I'd like to counter with that Robot Jox and then the in-universe Robot Jox untitled sequel, Robot Wars.
Oh, no shit.
Yeah,
I never
it's an
got around to
extended,
Robot
it's
Wars.
a movie that takes place in the same universe. That's why they use
Holy
a lot of the
shit.
same robots. Yeah,
And
I
they
mean,
also
Stuart
had
Gordon
Jack
is the
McGee
gift that just
playing
keeps
the
on
fat
giving.
fuck.
he really was.
Oh yeah. Oh, that whole part is like, I don't pay you bitches to stand around drawing. It's like, it's true. It's like they're having the worst conversation ever. Maybe they should go back to slinging hash and fucking their boss.
Yeah.
And I love that everybody calls him the fat fuck.
Yeah. You fat fuck.
You fat fuck.
Yeah.
Who
And
are you
William
talking to?
Fichtner's first scene where he sounds super Canadian for a minute there. You know.
Yeah. But
Hey, you guys, you like Kim Mitchell much? I think he rocks. You know.
let's go head on down to the Timmy Hoes.
Oh yeah.
You bitches looking for a job, man? Oh God! And that the fucking beginning. Why do all the women want to ride his dick in this movie? I
He's
don't get it.
magic and he came out of hell.
I kind of wondered that,
Okay.
but when we get to our face-off, I think I'll explain that.
Oh, I got a complete face off for this fucking thing. You know, but so, God damn it. You know, it being a 3D movie in 2011 does basically explain it, but still, the effects and shit in this and a lot of the visual choices, like, how are we not just watching some Tim and Eric awesome show? Great job.
Yeah.
You know, things go on for uncomfortably long, you know?
Well, in an interview with Gizmodo, Patrick Lussier, the director, said, quote, he has fucked up a lot, and this was his chance to make things right, his chance to do one last heroic thing. That, to us, was really appealing. Nick was the first actor we went to. He said the script was the craziest thing he'd ever read, which, I mean, come on, it's fucking Nicolas Cage. Like, the craziest thing he ever read, really. And he brought him to life beautifully.
Yeah, it kind of made me think about Bosco da Gama, you know, and it was like some of those Russian mystics, you know, from like 1880. And one time I was at summer camp and I got possessed by like a portrait of like Madame Defarge.
Which reminds me, I found a quote a little while ago where Nicolas Cage said, quote, I would like to hook up with one of the great Japanese filmmakers, like the master that made Ringu. And I would like to take the Wicker Man to Japan, except this time he's a ghost.
I remember reading that. Yeah.
this time he's a ghost, man. He's a ghost, okay?
Yeah. No, and in that part, the little girl's washing her ass in the sink, and he's flying around the room.
Who'd a shark?
Oh God, no! But the 3D though, it just shows you like what a wonderful watering hole a fucking 3D is, and that the ending was just like Jaws 3D.
Oh God, yeah.
Remember that fucking shit?
You mean the shark slowly making its way to the screen before it breaks the glass?
Yeah. God, and then it blows it apart, and there's like all these little pieces with all this awful haloing on them. Yeah,
And it reminds me that, like, the ending reminded me that, like, once Donnie dies, I'm going to drink beer out of his skull and then wear it as a hat.
well, you gonna make a cane out of his femur bone too?
Hell yeah.
This is all that is left of your daughter.
Show enough.
You will forgive me, undead man, if I speak like Doc Holliday a little bit.
And then I'll tell everybody I carry this with me wherever I go.
When Linda is killed before I am, I'm gonna smoke her body and the ashes will be made into a Nick Cage likeness.
Yeah.
You'll just be
Oh,
stood in the corner.
I thought you said we were gonna burn her body to ash and snort her like cocaine.
No, I want to be stuffed. Like, I could be turned into a candy dish holder and an umbrella holder. I could be greeting everybody at the door.
Oh. What's with that whole thing where Cage keeps asking William Fichtner who he thinks he is, and he's like, "Oh, you think you're Anubis or Loki
Are
or
you
somebody?"
Sure you want to talk about that and not as just give me the baby, give me the baby, give me the baby, give me the baby.
Yeah.
I want that baby.
All he wants is another baby.
You got tomorrow. And he says, he gets to say, where did they take that baby girl?
That first scene is like, "Where's the baby girl?" It's like, oh God, no! you know you're in for it. It's like, he knows what we did. He's gonna punish us for what we did. And you're like, oh no, it's good. And by the way, this is another one of those movies where there's 10 minutes of end credits to make up for the fact that there isn't enough movie for it to be a movie.
Oh, and the theme song during the credits is created by his son, Weston Cage.
Well, there's that first theme song before it though. That's an awesome Meatloaf knockoff.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking too. I was like, is this trying to be Meatloaf?
Yeah.
But but his I actually enjoyed that song. But his song, it's like the instruments, like the instrumentation the instrumentals are fucking great. It's slapping as far as like metal goes, but the vocals are just, oh Jesus Christ, it's pretty goddamn bad. Just take out the vocals and you got a good song.
Well, heaven can wait. Heaven can wait.
Donnie, did you get any fun reviews for this one?
I had to go through a lot. And like I said, there was
Did you write down any of the Jesus ones, partner?
I got rid of a couple of those because a lot of it was just like, this is shameful. How dare they? This movie has no Christian values. And
people like that need to be watching straight-to-video Christian movies only. They're the reason that industry was created.
That's what I was saying.
They need to hang out with fucking Kirk Cameron, and get the fuck out.
Watching Hellraiser.
Apparently.
Straight to video Hellraiser.
No, not even Hellraiser. They need to watch those full moon movies where the chick from hell comes to Earth and is an Avenger and has sex with a cop.
Sweet Jesus.
Can we just watch Subspecies?
Oh yeah. Oh my God.
Linda, there are limits.
They're still making those movies.
Hey, we are in America and not Romania. I have shape-shifting powers. Hey, how did that happen? Oh, my dad is in CIA America.
I heart Radu.
And the Bloodstone.
I am turned into eagle.
The Bloodstone.
But I couldn't narrow it down to 3 reviews, so I had to make it 4.
Okay, let's hear what you got.
But one was, I have always liked Nicolas Cage as an actor. He's very talented. But this movie had so much awful, foul language in it, I could not continue watching it.
You see that box in there with the R, honey? That means that movie's for grown-ups. No, it's not for you.
But it's nice because, like, her bumper sticker says that she breaks for pussy.
It was her boyfriend's car.
Yes.
She breaks for cats, guys.
And the license number was Drive Agri.
A fun but short one was simply 5th graders may enjoy it. Don't know how the average adult could.
That's an excellent point though. What with like the fuck fight scene and all that stuff. This reminded me a lot of a guy I used to know on DeviantArt whose screen name was James Dark Blue Wolf. And he was a guy who did terrible furry art and did terrible furry stories in which the guy mostly gets laid by women with large breasts and fires large guns. And that's the plot.
Yeah.
And he's always mad.
After popping some amonitrate. Actually, during that scene with the fat guy with the camera phone, I laughed really, really loudly. And Carlo, who's
because he had one of those portable phones.
Carlo was working from home behind me, and he was actually like shocked when I did that. He's like, "What is happening? Just quiet it down."
Oh, by the way, plot hole: his license expired in '95, and even in the '80s, the term cellular phone was in use. Dun, dun, dun.
But a
Dun,
fun
dun,
one I
dun, dun.
really liked because they tried making it fun, I guess, was bad. Bad everything, bad acting, bad storyline,
Aw.
awful special effects, looked like an old B movie on cable. Only good part of the movie was the cars he drove.
If it
And-
had actually
Jesus.
looked like an old B movie on cable, I feel I would have enjoyed it more.
It would have had something. But the runner-up I had for my favorite, and I think I am going to name it my favorite now because rereading it is just great. I hope I had found a gem, but boy was I wrong. This should be labeled a horror movie because it is a horrid, horrid movie. It makes no sense. It deserves to be placed in hell where the main characters go in the end. The chases are dumb. They waste some great cars for no good reason. The plot is crazy. It could have used more sex and less pretense. That way, it could have been classified as a porn. This movie is an insult to porn.
That is brilliant.
You can't get better than that.
Yeah. It's like, wow, this isn't even good enough to be a porn.
Yeah. Jesus Christ.
But like I said on the previous one, it's like, some of those 70s golden age pornos, they really tried, man. They really tried.
Yeah.
They really did. They were
Like
fun.
I saw one. The porn was cut out. It was an R-rated edit, but it was one from like 1980 called it was called It's Called Murder Baby, and Cameron Mitchell was in it actually. And you know what? Really solid period detective movie. Like fuck it. So it's a porn.
Yeah.
It's better than Drive Angry.
They at least had plots and humor.
They did. They did. They had plots. They had humor. They actually had acting and production value.
Yes.
Like
I
it's
really enjoyed the character of the accountant.
yeah. I mean, like he shows up and trolls the movie. I mean, what could be better than
Yes, I figured like he's the real hero of the movie.
that? Yeah.
You know that Jesus guy? He was fond of short haircuts.
He actually likes short hair. Yeah, you guys got it wrong.
Hey, fat fuck.
But that kind of ties in with the shit that Cage keeps saying, where it's like, oh look, it's one of those all mythologies are true kind of things. Look, I'm going to reference Baron Samedi and mispronounce it.
Yeah. What do you want to bet that all of those lines were his? Like, that Cage came up with them?
I don't fucking doubt it.
Yeah, because that's what I was thinking about. Like when I was watching the movie, I was thinking, like, yeah, these lines had to come from him. It was one of those like moments of like,
Well, I read on one of the things that said that the another reason he wanted to do this one was because he liked the part where the character's eye gets shot out.
Yeah.
yes,
And apparently
yeah.
he'd wanted to do that on Season of the Witch, and they wouldn't let him. The producers decided against it. And so there's that whole bit where he's looking at his fucked up eye, and he puts on the sunglasses, and the music comes up, and I'm thinking like, oh, okay, they were kind of aiming for the Terminator, but they kind of stalled over there near Rotor. You just need Shoe Boogie and the Cop Hat Robot.
Are we ready for my segment?
Yeah, why not? We've been dancing around it the whole time.
I want his clothes off. Clothes off. There are boobies like all over the place, and you even see that snatch.
Yeah.
Do you see butt crack?
Oh yeah.
Surely they
Oh,
could
yeah.
not have left out the butt crack.
Oh yeah, plenty of butt crack.
And yeah.
And also because you have the boom, you got the naked lady in the beginning who apparently was also the realtor that sold them the trailer house, the trailer. And
Well, that makes
also
sense.
there's nudity of the Candy, the lady that he was dicking during the fight.
I
And
got
then there's
pictures
a-
of naked lady lying on the bed.
You almost get nudity of you almost get like that Burke with the guy with what's his name, Farmer.
Yeah, the writer. The big
who
huge
played
tall
Frank.
bald guy. Yeah.
And there's a whole mess of nudity with the little like party they're throwing, the little we're gonna kill a baby and
No,
like
darling.
Satan.
Stillwater is a prison. My daddy went there. Would you like to have sex later?
Yeah. like I was wondering, like, is this something she usually does? Like,
Well, it was getting close to the full moon, and that makes her Randy.
oh yeah, I forgot. Yeah. And he's just so pretty during this movie.
Oh,
With his
God.
long blonde locks.
Oh, Jesus, his hair.
Oh, Jesus Christ, his hair.
Oh, my God. I mean, we've seen so many bad Cage hair movies, but wow.
Yeah. This was real special.
It's like I was actually wishing to bring back the stupid hair from Ghost Rider. That was so bad.
Oh, Jesus.
Yeah.
Donnie, do you feel like we're ready to face this off?
I hope so. I
All
really
right.
hope so.
I hand it off to you then, sir.
Well, okay. So this is an 80s cast. And
All right. Oh, hey, all right.
I
Sweet.
tried going as close as I could to what they made me think of. So we're going musical. Piper is Deborah Ann Harry, aka Blondie.
Oh shit, yes.
The
Nice.
accountant is Robert Palmer.
Oh,
Jonah
hell yeah.
King
Yeah.
is George Michael. And
Yay!
Milton is exactly who should have been in the first place, Peter Gabriel.
Oh, dude, that would have the good soundtrack right there. You get a Peter
It would've
Gabriel in the
been.
Power Station.
It would have been.
Some
And
like
he-
it hot.
The whole time, Nick Cage seriously looked like Peter fucking Gabriel.
That's funny because
Oh,
just
yeah.
yesterday, I was talking to somebody about Genesis and Peter Gabriel.
You could get Rhythm of the Heat on the soundtrack there. That'd be pretty badass.
It was like Gabriel versus Collins. I don't know.
Which
I'm
is
still
funny
in
because
the
they're good
Collins
friends,
category.
you know.
Oh yeah, but I mean, we were talking about like I was asking who do you prefer?
I
And I'm a
can't.
Collins
Come on,
girl.
you can't choose between prog perfection and awesome '80s pop. They're both great, you know.
It's true. That's true.
Yeah.
Who you got, Adrian?
So I went with an all drive-in all the time face-off for this.
Ooh.
So for the director, I've got William Herbert, director of Warlock Moon.
Nice.
For the writer, I've got Gil Lasky, writer of Blood and Lace and The Night God Screamed. For our hero character, I've got Andrew Prine of Grizzly and the Centerfold Girls. For that lady, I've got Karen Black. For the accountant, I actually went with Jack Weston, sort of a different direction. And for the cult leader, Sid Haig. And for the sheriff guy, Vic Morrow.
Oh.
Yeah. All driving all the time.
I like
Old B movie on TV.
I dig it.
Yeah.
For mine, I have John Waters as the director, and the part of Milton is played by the beautiful Gina Torres from Serenity and Firefly. Piper is played by Johnny Depp.
There you go.
So I want to balance it
That'll
out.
fix it. Yeah.
And the because if the rumors are true, then fuck you. And the accountant is played by my boy Richard E. Grant.
Oh, of course.
Fucking love him. And I feel like he's, he and William Fichtner are kind of. I love them both dearly, but I feel like they're also interchangeable.
Interesting.
Well, they always like play the same like sort of characters.
Richard E. Grant saying he's got space madness.
Yeah. I fucking love him. Anyway.
Get off the nuclear warhead.
Do you guys feel like you're ready for Cage or Busey?
Oh, Cage Abusey.
Donnie?
Oh god. Oh Jesus.
I believe you delivered the last one. Oh, Jesus Christ.
Oh god. So to reiterate, Forbes officially listed him as being one of the most dangerous men in Hollywood. He's donated over $2 million to provide shelters as well as medical and psychological rehabilitation for child soldiers. The answer, of course, is Cage.
Cage, Cage.
Oh, Cage is gonna donate to get people shelters. Oh, look at me. I'm Cage. I'm a goody two shoes.
Oh, I care about other people. I'm a philanthropist. I'm just gonna take another drink.
You sink another drink now. All right.
It'll give me time to think.
So for next week's Cage or Busey, see if you can guess this. This actor has played multiple instruments, including the drums, and has even played with a band on a record. Is that Cage or is it Busey?
Oh.
Is it Ringo Starr?
Ringo Starr don't play no instruments.
Oh,
that guy what lives on a yellow submarine. You guys feel like it's time for wisdom?
I feel like it's time for us to go.
I wanted to go 10 minutes into the movie, but I had to watch the whole thing. Saw it on the airplane, walked out.
I feel like actually that line is really, really fitting for us with the quarantine. We're accidentally on holiday.
Yeah. Oh.
I feel like it's time to finish this drink, but as far as wisdom goes, Donnie, were you able to find anything?
I'm glad that it's almost over with.
Jesus.
I don't honestly think there
sure
was
did
anything. I mean, if you die and you feel pissed off and you don't want to pull a Brandon Lee and become the Crow, then I guess you can make a deal with the devil and pull a Spawn.
You steal a god-killing gun, and then you just kind of drive out of hell.
Jesus, don't remind me of that. No, that didn't exist. No.
It was...
No.
The Deus Ex Machina.
Like, he was making it sound like it was really easy to fool the devil. So.
Yeah, the poor devil.
And the devil sounds pretty chill, the way that the accountant was talking about him.
Yeah. It was more like the Harvey Keitel devil from Little Nicky.
Yes. Yeah.
Somebody unleashed their evil.
And Popeyes is the shiznit. Really, truly is. I guess if I'd have to say something, it would for wisdom, it would be ladies and men, if you're wait staff, don't just sleep with any customer. You got to be choosy and you got to be safe.
And you got to remember to put the fucking sugar in the coffee, goddammit.
Exactly. And you don't know what sort of, like, I mean, picture this. Like,
my daddy was in jail and you look unwashed. I am wet now.
I don't think they ever said how his character died. So he could have died of like the world's worst case of crabs. Or of the clap?
Well, we didn't see him spring out of the grave on a skull motorcycle, so he might not be in the same body. Like, he might be made out of hell stuff.
Yeah. Hell stuff.
That's what Adrian calls his
bottom of a hole in the blazing sun.
That's what Adrian calls his jizz on account of it burning.
Yeah, that the hell stuff. Break it out of my body and find a way.
Honestly, if Meatloaf did bust out of the ground on a motorcycle and then pulled someone away on a chain, that would have been a great ending.
Oh, that would have been so
Wouldn't it?
Yeah.
Yes. Let's rewrite the ending. We're going to reboot.
And then just have Nick Cage staring at him and just say, like a bat out of hell.
I can see his faded Levi's bursting apart.
And now I'm turning to the end of time. He is waiting for the end of time.
Oh, hot patootie.
Bless his soul. I guess this is the time
wait. We weren't done. You didn't get my wisdom. You didn't wait for my wisdom.
Oh, you got wisdom?
You heard her wisdom and his wisdom. You didn't hear my wisdom.
I'm so sorry. What bit of wisdom, what kernel of wisdom do you have?
FBI guys are magic.
Yeah, you're kind of right.
He was a magic FBI man. They never expressly said that he was anything else.
That's totally true. Maybe his like being an accountant was just a cover.
The Federal Bureau of Get the Fuck Out of Here. Yeah.
He's with the FBI in hell.
Yeah, you call the cop, you get an accountant, or so he says, but it turns out he's with the FBI. FBI flipping tanks of liquid hydrogen and driving classic cars. FBI.
With great songs. That's the way. Oh, Jesus. Well, I would first like to say, please, if you can, go to podcastmagazine.com/hot50. That's HOT50, and vote for us. And while you're at it, why not my other podcast, Bed Knobs and Broomflicks, for the Hot 50 podcasts. And
Hot 50, is that sexy calendar we're all going to appear in?
Hell yeah. Hot 50 over 50. Don't know if you could tell, but we're all over 50 here.
Always one more, you're never satisfied.
And why not vote for one of our other friends like Talkin Shiz, who pulled our attention to this. But yeah, that's podcastmagazine.com/hot50. And please vote for us. And the people who have, because if you do vote for us, and let me know on Twitter. Hey, let's not rush things. Probably suck your dick, but also you get a call out, you get a shout out, guys, like on social medias and on the air. And
a shout out on social media, surely that is fame.
For sure, it is.
Faux show.
Truly, it is the sport of kings.
I would like to thank Carla Moe, 10ish podcast, Jenny, one of our awesome Patreon patriots, and on Second Watch podcast. Give if you need a third person to vote for, I'd say either Talkin Shiz, on Second Watch, or 10ish podcast.
I had me Second Watch, but it was taking up too much room on my wrist.
Jesus Christ. But yeah, they're all great podcasts. I've actually listened to them, and they're fucking great. So please go on there and vote for us. We could really fucking use it, guys. But talking about things we can use, please also follow, rate, and review Cage's Kiss on Apple Podcasts and over on Podchaser, because it helps other people get to know about us. So please do that. And check out our Patreon at patreon.com/CAGESKISS. We have a lot of awesome perks there. And remember, you can find Cage's Kiss on Facebook and on Twitter at Cage's Kiss. You can visit our website at cageskiss.com, where we have that awesome Adrian art as well. And you can write to us at cageskiss@gmail.com. Check out my other show, Bed Knobs and Broomflicks. We talk about our favorite witches in entertainment, as well as our favorite heroic animals and sandwiches.
Familiars.
Like the Brood Witch.
Those are my skulls, man. Those are meant to be displayed.
We talk about heroic and just plain awesome animals in our favorite familiar segments. Adrian, what you got going on?
Sure, I thought we were cool.
I have a god awful security job that's killing me, and I've got some kind of virus.
Yeah.
Which is waitresses, which is why you should not sleep with him.
Oh god!
Like, even though it's a full moon coming.
Just go to my DeviantArt already. I actually put something on there this week. It's Leo the Fox, all lowercase, all one word, LeoTheFox. Get on my Patreon because I need your money and not the money I'm getting from the security company.
Yeah, fuck them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Donwald.
Jesus
Donifer.
wept.
Yeah.
I'm on
Personal.
Twitter as Unreal Goals. I'm also the boy who blew on Pornhub. It is a real thing. Don't go there.
And it's still free if you're in Italy for this month.
Yeah. Otherwise, that's all I've got going on because I too have a virus, or I may not. 2 visits to the doctor, no test have confirmed this, and I just have to keep praying and find Jesus.
It's kind of nice how they got enough COVID tests and all that for all of us who probably have it.
Yeah. I'm just, during this time,
If we don't get tested, that keeps the number of official cases low.
Don't get tested. Just stay home, stay with your family, lock yourself in your room, and masturbate furiously.
Yeah, do that last part especially.
Yeah.
Now's the time to find out if you can suck your own dick. Or if you're a lady.
Your cats won't judge you now if you're drinking at 2 in the afternoon.
That cat don't know what time it is.
And if you're working from home, then you could just call them your coworkers. And jack off in front of your coworkers.
My coworkers are so catty. What's with them? I swear.
Seriously though, don't jack off in front of your pets. It's not right.
Oh, just don't jack off on them.
Yeah.
That would be mean.
Adrian's standards are low. Oh, so you'll be hearing from us next week when we cover Seeking Justice.
Oh,
French
no.
Street.
Oh, God.
Oh, yeah.
There's no fucking hope. God.
And I thought this movie gave me AIDS.
You can find it streaming on Vudu. And shit, yeah. That reminds me. Did you guys am I the only one who got like the flashbacks to It Could Happen to You with the whole thing about her being a nice waitress and giving the poor family some free muffins?
Yeah, just put some honey butter on those muffins. It's Texas. We don't know no better.
She's an angel.
If someone can talk to Nick Cage, he doesn't really watch TV. He's an analog kind of guy. Please let him know there's a quarantine going on.
Yeah.
Yes,
Hopefully he's not one of those
support
people
it.
doing the COVID challenge and licking toilet seats.
I was actually hoping he was going to get together with, John Lovitz and try and make Trapped in Paradise 2 quarantine.
Yes. Oh, I'd pay to see that shit. But in the meantime, I'm taking it back and making it mine. What's that got to do with my cage?
What you
Are you
think?
mad? I am your daughter.
Despite all her rage, she's still cheese in a cage.
I'm still in this week.
And there was a character who was a Nicolas Cage in this one too. Hey, look, full circle now.
Yay.
Peach. I could eat a peach for hours. Please. In a world of utter randomness, one podcast stood out from the bunch. And it was The Amazing World of Talkin Shiz.
Sorry, I had to clear my throat there. Yeah, it's just mainly randomness.
And focus
It's
is
definitely
not being
not there.
focused on at all.
No. Our podcast is definitely no theme at all. It's literally random and talk about literally everything and throwing in random jokes at any given time.
Yeah. We're on Spotify, Apple, and Google Podcasts. So go ahead, tune in. New episodes weekly.
And we're international.
International.
Very,
Yes.
very well. So tune in. Follow us on Twitter. See you there.